Hello and welcome back to the ARK of E podcast. My name is Noah, and co-piloting with me this week, a returning guest. Haven't heard from him in a little while. Got some trailers to talk about. Three of the biggest trailer drops of the year. Everybody's already gotten their hot takes in, but the only opinion that really matters is the opinion of Mr. Brendan Reilly. Joining us once again. Say hello, Brendan.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be back. Thanks for having me, Noah. Excited about this. Excited to check these videos out and kind of give you my hot take.
Yeah. If you've never heard Brendan on an episode or reference before, he's the everyman perspective. So we're gonna see what he thinks of three of the biggest trailers. I do my best to speak for the gin pop out here, you know. Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna ask which one you want served to you first. You said you don't think you've seen any of these.
Not the new ones.
You're definitely aware of. I think at least all three of them, but
I don't remember what we went and saw last, but I know we saw the Oppenheimer trailer. I don't know if it's the new one or not.
Well, let's just start right there. We have the second Oppenheimer trailer, the full length Big Daddy, and again, you're not sure if you've seen it. 3 minutes long. We're gonna live watch it with Brendan in the room. He may make remarks, or we may just hold off until afterwards. So we'll see how the audio quality goes for this. But yeah, hold on just a moment, and I will turn over the sticks to you, as it were. You can click play on there. Actually, maybe flip that around. Flip the orientation. No. Yes, so that the speakers are closer to your right hand, closer to the mic. All right, Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer.
This is a national emergency. Detonator charged. We're in a race against the Nazis. And I know what it means. If the Nazis have a bomb. They have a 12-month head start. 18. How could you possibly know that? We've got one hope. All America's industrial might and scientific innovation connected here. A secret laboratory. Keep everyone there until it's dark. Let's go recruit some scientists. Build a town, build it fast. If we don't let scientists bring their families, we'll never get the best.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
Why? Why? How about because this is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world? You're the great improviser, but this you can't do in your head. Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world? Chances are near zero. Near zero. What do you want from theory alone? Zero would be nice. This is a matter of life or death. I can perform this miracle. World War II would be over. Our boys would come home.
There's him.
All right.
So,
Thoughts?
I mean, right off the bat, I got many thoughts. I got many thoughts between the history of things, between where we are in the world now, and between movie aspect all around. You know, I think you watch this trailer, it almost looks like some sort of post-apocalyptic type of movie, something that couldn't be real, something that's like, man, they didn't do that. That didn't happen. It almost looks fictional in a sense, you know. But it happened. This was real. That actually did go down. And something that they're building to make it look like was almost like this miraculous thing that could have never been done is something that we see as like mundane now. You know, it happened. You know, nobody thinks about like a bomb blowing up the world, but at that time that hadn't been done yet. So it's kind of cool to kind of transport yourself back in that aspect. But the one part that like really sticks out to me is where they say that they, you know, this is going to offer them peace. And what's funny, you know, you look where we're at now in the world, and I can't help but apply that to this and think like it didn't offer peace. It just made things worse. Right?
That's been, I was talking a little bit about this with our mutual friend, Evan Tuig, who eventually will hopefully be on a podcast here. We've had some failed attempts in the past. But we were out to dinner recently, all of us, and he was very excited about it. And I voiced my one concern mainly being whether Nolan was the dude to take on this story. Because, yes, on a certain level, I'm like, obviously the spectacle, the grandeur of it, that's one way to go. Okay. But do I count on him to tell the full three-dimensional breadth and depth of the atomic bomb and what it meant to world history at large, and the maybe complicated feelings that I feel like you should come away from this movie with? Or, you know, I don't know. That's my main...
Sure, I mean,
because
I think it's a fair point,
I think of him as a very spectacle-driven filmmaker, and I think at times the emotional aspects of his movies are pretty cold for the most part. They're not very.
And if that's the case, I think this might be the right.
His movies don't have a lot of heart, if that makes sense. And that was Evan's point. Is he was like, "Well, I think it should be bleak," and I'm like, "Yes, but I think beyond that, like." I don't know. I have some concerns. I say all of this with like, obviously I'm going to see it opening day. I can't wait. Like,
I'm pumped.
I think it's going to be an incredible
movie
experience.
Aspect, I'm pumped. Yes. History aspect, I'm excited. The history, I'm sure, will be loose. You know, bleak, I think, is a good way to put it.
Why do you say you think will be loose?
I mean, how many times have you gone to a movie to watch something that was based on a true story, and there has to be some sort of... I mean, they can't represent it to a T. Well, you know, and there's going to be some Hollywood aspect.
That comes with any project, but I think there's also, you know, there's people who could have taken the same story and done like something very, very out there with it. I think this is going to adhere very closely to the facts and history.
I think the major parts usually in these types of movies are
and I think he's going to try and keep it very grounded, because that's another.
And then if you say that he's somebody who's cold, then sure, I think that would be like, if this was a Michael Bay movie, I'd be a little more concerned.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously that's not going to be the person that's presented to do this movie.
Yeah.
You know, we might blow up half the world if Michael Bay was doing it. But nonetheless, getting back to the topic, I'm excited to see it, man. The trailer's great. It's intriguing. It makes you nervous. You're looking at this almost other world that they're setting up in the middle of nowhere to go have scientists around the clock do something that they don't know if it's going to blow up the world or not, which, you know, they say in there it's probably not, but this actually happened. And I think for me, that's a part where I'm like, that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
So I get intrigued about history movies in general.
I should also note, I mean, there's
some big actors in there, too.
This is one of the most insane cast ever assembled.
Yeah, okay, Matt Damon,
you have Cillian Murphy,
Jr.
Cillian Murphy, obviously, as the lead, which is just what I'm most excited about. But yes, you have Emily Blunt as Oppenheimer's wife. You have Matt Damon. You have Robert Downey Jr., as you mentioned, Olivia Thirlby, Florence Pugh, Jack Quaid from The Boys,
Yep.
David Dismalchin, who I feel like is in everything these days, Gary Oldman, Josh Hartnett,
I didn't even see him in the trailer.
Kenneth Branagh, Rami Malek, Dane DeHaan, David Krumholtz, Alden Ehrenreich, Tony Goldwyn, Scott Grimes, Alex Wolff, Casey Affleck, James Remar, Matthew
Casey
Modine, Jason Clarke, Josh Peck, Benny Safdie. I mean, it just keeps going, dude. And I mean, it's a 3-hour movie. Obviously, going to be a lot of people, with one scene parts kind of things. But I hope it also, on top of everything else that it has to be, I hope it is just a great vehicle for Cillian Murphy to finally kind of get recognized on a mass scale, because he's always been one of my faves, but he's never really had like a breakout moment as a leading guy
Well, this gives him that opportunity.
in movies, I should say. I mean, on Peaky Blinders, he's been killing.
Because if you see the cast that he's surrounded by, if he's able to hold his own and or shine,
well, I mean,
this
I
will
don't
help.
think that's
set
in
him
question
apart.
at all. I think it's just I think he's been one of those people who just, because he's not, maybe didn't get the key right. He was famously up for Batman, for Batman Begins, and that's why he's the Scarecrow, even though they went with Bale, because he really liked Cillian Murphy. Still liked his audition so much.
Listen,
So
Christian Bale is the Batman, and I know you sit there and argue with me about that all day, and that's fine. But like, try to imagine anybody else playing that version of Batman. No chance.
I mean, I can imagine other people playing that version.
You crazy, man? He crushed that.
Josh Hartnett, who is in this, also notably was, I think, in the final 3 for that Batman project. Think about that. Could have been Hartnett, dude. Could have had a whole different career.
I mean, I like Josh Hartnett, but still.
I mean, so do I. Love him. He's great.
Christian Bale, yeah. Anyways, we're off topic. I'm pumped, man.
Welcome to podcast. That's what we do. So no further thoughts on Oppenheimer. Where are you at on Nolan, just as a director in general?
He's got some of my personal favorite movies: Interstellar,
Just period.
Inception,
Of all time.
Dark Knight, the whole series. Dunkirk was awesome. The only one on this list that I was not like over heels over head, whatever.
Head over heels.
Yeah, that one.
Over the moon. There's a lot of
Is
different ways
Tenet.
you go.
Tenet, I wasn't like that. The Prestige is awesome. Man, dude, he did Man of Steel too.
No, he produced it. I don't know what you're looking at, but
But yeah, so that said, and then that's where you say that he's got some like coldness to him. Yeah, I could see that. Bleak would be another way to put it, like Evan said. I think that gives me a better view of what I'm about to get into. And like you said, I think that only plays to probably what the realness is going to be of this movie, which excites me even more.
yeah. I guess my question is, obviously, not a cheap movie to make. I think they're pushing the spectacle of it, the fact that it's an IMAX. You can see it in 70 millimeter in a couple of theaters like around the U.S., which would be awesome. I don't think we're gonna have anything like that near us, but they're pushing that aspect of it. I think because it's kind of a tough sell. It's a 3-hour movie about the atomic bomb.
All leading up to one point.
Led by, centered around the guy at the center of all of it. And at the center of that cast, again, it's like, yes, you can populate the trailer with all these other people. But for some people, I do think Cillian Murphy is like I kind of know that guy. But it's almost like that's who's playing Oppenheimer. I feel like some people are like...
Yeah,
I don't know if a bigger name in that role would have cemented it. I'm curious to see how it does as a summer movie. This is, I mean, obviously you're excited, but yes.
For Gym Pop, like, I'm gonna tell you, I know who Cillian Murphy is, right? But unless you, and there probably is a big portion of the general population out there that likes Peaky Blinders, loves Peaky Blinders, but doesn't know where he would be anywhere else. Wouldn't know him other than that, right? So I know him, I see him, but I would not look at him and be like, man, he's a star. I would not look at him and be like, oh, he's one of these breakout top notch actors. I'm not saying he's not. I've seen him around, but I don't know him well enough. And I think maybe, and anybody out there that's listening to this, if you're offended, I apologize, but I speak for the general population when I say, like, yeah, I don't look at him and say that's a big name.
But again, that's why I'm like, I don't know that needs to be the selling point. They're selling it on Christopher Nolan's name, a little bit on Matt Damon, a little bit on just like, hey, it's a big historical thing that's never had a proper, like, big budget movie made about it.
Yeah.
That, at least one that comes to mind. So, I'm just curious how it's going to do for the summer. And I guess we should go ahead and watch the movie that it is pitted against on the same day, releasing same day.
And you know what? After we get done looking at it, I'm going to sit here and tell you which one I'm more excited for. I can already tell you which one I'm more excited for and which one I think is going to be more fun.
Can I come to your house today?
Sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
This is the best day ever. It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now to forever. You guys ever think about dying? Some things have been happening that might be related. Cold shower, falling off my roof, and my heels are on the ground. What do I have to do? You have to go to the real world. You can go back to your regular life, or you can know the truth about the universe. The choice is now yours. The first one, the high heel. You have to want to know, okay? Do it again. Closer I am Closer I am
I'm coming with you.
Okay. Wow, this is the real world. What's going on? Why are these men looking at me?
Yeah, they're also staring at me.
Barbie in the real world. That's impossible.
If this got out, this could mean extremely weird things for our world. This would be catastrophic.
We haven't played with Barbie since we were like 5 years old.
No one rests until this doll is back in a box.
Humans only have one ending.
Get that Barbie!
Ideas live forever.
No, I won't let you do just one appendectomy.
But I'm a man.
But not a doctor.
Can I talk to a doctor?
You are talking to a doctor.
I need a clicky pen.
No.
A sharp thing.
No.
There he is. Doctor!
Somebody get security.
Is Bobby still in doubt?
All right. So you want to talk about two opposite ends of the spectrum of
It does not look dour.
serious versus not serious. So off the bat, I'm more excited to see Oppenheimer, for sure. I think that Barbie's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a blast. And I also am prepared to be maybe semi let down. The saving grace in my mind, and coming from the general population here, Margot Robbie's obviously fun to look at. She's a great actress. And Ryan Gosling crushes everything he does. Like, I love Ryan Gosling. You want to talk about a man crush? Yeah. Like, so I'm confident that whatever's presented to us is actually probably going to be pretty good. But that movie's just going to be off the wall.
I'm incredibly amped for both.
Yeah. Is there one though that you would be like, all right, I have to choose to see? You can only choose one to see in theaters.
I would probably go Oppenheimer just for sheer spectacle.
Yeah.
For like half to see on the big screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Even Tenet, for example, which dropped right in the middle of a pandemic, and our movie theater kind of stayed open pretty much the whole time, but that was one of the first big, like, oh, can we release it in the midst of all this with all these restrictions, and can a movie still do well? Can we get people to go back to theaters? And it didn't really work, but I think it was for a good bit of people, it was like, oh, I will venture out for this, maybe for the first time in several months because it's a Nolan movie. And I think, unfortunately, that being attached to it was a little bit of like a letdown when I saw it in the theater, where it was just like, dude, I risked my life for this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at the time,
yeah. But also when it dropped on HBO Max, like a few months later, I rewatched it, and I've rewatched it multiple times, and I don't like it any better or think that, like, the problems that I have with it have not aged any better, but it is a fantastic, like, just background watch. Just like some of the sequences in it on a technical level are just like fun to watch over and over again for me personally. But I think you kind of have to turn your brain off to everything else because I can't stand how much that movie has to over-explain itself the whole time.
And you hate
like
it. I know you hate it.
It's so well. It's just it's the equivalent of like somebody trying to use a lot of big words so that they sound smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you're like, I feel like there's not a lot there, but you're convoluting it with a lot of like smoke and mirrors to make this seem
like there's a lot
very
there.
cool and very deep and very important. But I'm like, the emperor has no clothes. Whatever metaphor you want to go with. I just
Tenet. I don't think that it was bad.
That's the thing is I don't think there's anything that getting it would do for you. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a movie that's intentionally obtuse to basically be able to step back and be like, oh, well, if you didn't like it, you didn't get it. It has that attitude to me, which I can't fucking stand, which is also the attitude of a lot of his fan base, which is why I think I actively, like, even though I like his movies, I actively distance myself from being like, oh my God, he's one of the greatest, because I also genuinely don't feel that way. I think he is a little overrated a bit because he does a lot of things that other directors do extremely well, but he does them in the kind of most like mainstream way, the most accessible way, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Which is not a knock at all. There's people who've made entire careers on that very successfully, but yeah, I think that's my slight grudge towards him, is like when he does weird things in Dunkirk, for instance, like I'm playing with time and like all of that sort of stuff. I don't know. Sometimes
I liked Dunkirk.
No. I like it a lot too, but I'm saying some of the choices that feel kind of arbitrary, where it's like there was no need to tell that story in 3 separate temporalities. Like,
okay.
There's no need for it.
You know what I will say?
But it's almost like he was just like, oh, I'm kind of bored and I've got to make it interesting for myself. But then that's the same sort of thing that like a fan of that movie would use to be like, oh, dude, but like you'll get those 3 timelines like simultaneously. It was so like, and where I'm just like, yeah, I got it, but
question for you.
It's like showing off for the sake of showing off. I don't know what I'm saying.
For you from the general population here.
What's that?
I'm like overusing that term now, but
yes. You can just speak for yourself.
Speaking for thyself.
But I mean, if you want to
I think it's a fair question that I think people don't think about, because I'm just putting this together now, but do certain directors usually try to work specifically with actors that they like? Because if you start thinking about Dunkirk and Inception, we've got Tom Hardy across the board here. Obviously, Christian Bale is going to stay throughout all of the Dark Knight movies, but then he's got Cillian in Dark Knight, and now he's got Cillian in Oppenheimer. So I'm just curious. He's got Matt Damon in Interstellar, and now he's got Matt Damon in this. So do directors like that usually work with the same type of actors?
I think you would say most quote-unquote auteur directors, they have their people.
I'm just curious. I never paid attention to it.
They're repeat guys, yeah.
And then they're all great actors.
He doesn't have like weirdly, I would say Cillian Murphy, Christian Bale, and Tom Hardy are kind of like his 3 dudes, where it's like if he's going to be doing a movie, I would assume one of them is involved with it in some capacity, just given the track record. Somebody I would like to see come back is Guy Pearce, who we worked, Memento, his second movie, which is still one of my faves. And I'd also like to see Pacino back in the mix.
Pacino's 89 years old now.
I think there's always been a little bit of a I liked him before he was cool kind of thing, where I loved Memento and Insomnia and went back to following his first movie. And that was before he got the Batman Begins gig. So it was kind of like when that was the pick, it was like, oh, I'm rooting for him. Like, that was cool. And then at a certain point, I feel like, I don't know, the cult around him kind of got a little nauseating for me, which is where I started to go like, you know what? You guys can have him.
You guys have him.
You film bros on Twitter, you guys can have him. That's fine. But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, you and I are gonna.
Well, sorry, we did watch the Barbie trailer, and somehow we still got sidetracked back to talking about Oppenheimer.
I do want to watch the Barbie movie. I am excited, but I think I'm more excited to go watch Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie play with each other. I said what I said. I didn't mean to say the way I said it.
I think it sounds fine.
But I think it was totally Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie go play with each other than I am anything else.
Right. Do you have any awareness of the writer-director team on this?
Zero.
Or anything? Okay. So it's co-written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. Do those names mean anything to you?
Nope.
Okay, Greta Gerwig, actress for quite a while. You may have seen her in a few things, but she transitioned into directing fairly recently. But she did Lady Bird. Did you see Lady Bird?
I don't believe so.
Pretty great movie.
I think you posted about it, and I thought
streaming
about
on Amazon
it.
Prime, I believe, at the moment. I think it was maybe co-produced by Amazon, so maybe it's always on there. But anyways, Lady Bird, great coming of age story. You should definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. Cool. It's also for the indie world, it's a little all these people are about to pop movie because it has early Timothée Chalamet, early Lucas Hedges, and Saoirse Ronan, who had already been Oscar nominated multiple times, but that was big for her as well. But she did Lady Bird and she did Little Women, the most recent remake of it, the one with Florence Pugh and Saoirse Ronan and Emma Watson, and who else was in there? I don't know.
I would tell you, but I don't know.
Great movie. You should. I mean, I know that probably sounds like a nightmare for you, but anyways, she's great. Noah Baumbach. What would you know? Did you ever see Squid and the Whale?
Nope. No. Come on, no.
Marriage Story?
Nope.
Okay. Did you see, what was his most recent one? Oh my gosh. Why is it escaping me? Is it Adam Driver? It was last year? Why? Oh my god.
What, 69 billion?
No, 65. That was this year. This is crazy. White Noise on Netflix. Didn't see it?
No, but I did. That's the only one out of the three that I knew of.
The Meyerowitz Chronicles with Stiller and Sandler?
I did see that.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, that's a Baumbach movie. I was grasping at straws here. I was like,
I did see that. I don't remember where I watched it at home with mom and dad, I think. Yeah. But that one was pretty good. It wasn't bad. It was not my cup of tea as far as movies that I'd be like, I can't wait to go see one of those.
You watched it for Sandler, and maybe it was a different tone than you were expecting, given his usual.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. But you still liked it, okay?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I like him quite a bit. Not like my favorite dude ever, but he's worked with Wes Anderson a couple times. He co-wrote Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, which I quite enjoy. And yeah, okay. We're gonna need to wrap things up. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I got about 10 minutes left.
You can just say these things out loud. It's okay. I'm not editing any of this. He legit did not know what Christopher Nolan directed.
Oh no, yeah.
He had.
I knew the name
as soon as I started. But you know that those movies all go together. As soon as I started telling you,
dude, without a doubt,
that's what I was gonna say.
The essence of the movie, the aura of the movie, if that makes sense, they all go together.
You can tell.
You can
this
tell.
one guy.
And now, if you showed me a movie and you didn't tell me, I'd be like, oh, this is a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about one more guy here. Okay. We're gonna squeeze this in. So we got 2 thumbs up on both of them, but you're leaning more towards Oppenheimer. Okay, this one is further into the year, but probably, might be a big awards contender. I don't know your awareness of this one. I saved it for last for a reason. Ooh, press play on that, sir. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Look at the screen.
The Osage took their name from the Sur and
Big Leo fan.
Children of the middle waters.
Martin Scorsese.
Move, said the great white father. There are many, so many hungry wolves. Can you find the wolves in this picture? Can you find the wolves in this picture?
So first time seeing that, first time hearing about it, I can tell you without a doubt, my good buddy Noah Blanchard is absolutely excited for that movie. That was probably one of the more intriguing trailers that I've seen in some time. Between
So that just topped the Oppenheimer trailer, I take it. Just
Well,
from your general reaction.
I think you know why I'm excited for that movie. I'm a big Leo fan. And then you've got Robert De Niro. I love both of them, to be honest with you. And I know, and then Martin Scorsese is directing the movie. So,
Well, you were just talking about, do people, do directors like to work with the same people?
and
it's supposed to be like,
Scorsese and
well, yeah.
De Niro,
his-
De Niro, yeah.
Well, it's his two boys right there.
Yeah.
Scorsese and DiCaprio. And we finally got them together.
Or I said De Niro, I meant DiCaprio.
Well, they're both his boys. De Niro was for one era. DiCaprio's been for a different one.
So that one I feel like I'm excited about because I don't know. Are we allowed to cuss on this?
Abso-fucking-lutely. You
I don't know
Say whatever
shit
you want.
about that. And the fact that you have a Scorsese movie with De Niro and DiCaprio, I'm like, yeah, sign me up. You could have just told me that, and I would have been like, yeah, let's go see this. I'm already excited. It's gonna be good. I don't care what it's about. Now you base it on a true story, and I'm not really giving much beyond that.
I'm not going to tell you much about the true story other than to say this is going to be a dark-ass movie,
No,
dude.
looking at that,
It is
I
going to
think,
be...
yeah, man.
Barbie.
I'm watching that, and I'm like, bro, this movie gives me the chills just watching the trailer. I don't know if you're supposed to be excited about something like that, but like I'm excited because you're going to have your emotion provoked. You can look at this and you can tell that you are going to be emotionally provoked. You're probably going to be a little disturbed, if not a lot of bit disturbed. And at the end of the movie, you're probably going to be like, what the fuck just happened? That was great.
By the way, it's 3 hours and 26 minutes long.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
This is my most anticipated.
I have no
for the
doubt
rest of
that
the
I
year.
have zero doubt knowing that you are most excited for this right now.
I mean, the only other one that's even in the ballpark, and we don't even have a trailer for it yet, is The Zone of Interest, which is the new one from Jonathan Glazer, which, yeah, I absolutely cannot wait for either. But those
and
are...
I have no idea about the movie or that director.
We'll deal with that when the trailer eventually drops and I make you watch it. But, yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon, my most anticipated. So it's being produced by Apple. I think it was like $250-300 million. I don't know. Huge budget. It's been going for a while. There was like COVID delays, et cetera, et cetera. But obviously, anytime Scorsese makes a movie, it's a big deal. But this one, even though it's produced by Apple and will eventually end up on there like same day, they're going to do a big theatrical push for this one because obviously they're going to be trying to win some Oscars.
That, if you want to talk about like getting a half chub for any of the trailers, like that one is the most chubbiest.
It's an incredibly well put together trailer, and again,
because it
I
doesn't
love
give
that
you,
you
it
said,
doesn't give you too much. It gives you just enough.
Well, I love that you said you had virtually no awareness, which I think is the case for most of the general population because the trailer has
You
only
said it, not me.
because the trailer has only really been online and in the film circles and stuff. Like I don't know what movies it would have played before at this point. Also, with it being an Apple release and not coming out till later in the year, I think maybe now in the summer you'll start to see it in some
Like
theaters.
if you had to ask me to go watch one of those right now, you're like, yo, we can go watch one right now. We have to wait for the others. I would go watch that.
Oh,
right now.
100%. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, that's
and it won't be until the fall. It will be in true like award season. But we get Oppenheimer and Barbie as nice little summer treats. And I love that those are complete opposite ends of the spectrum,
I think
and that they can coexist on the same weekend. If I'm being honest
with you,
and we're gonna go see both.
That would be watching Oppenheimer and Barbie.
You were smiling almost the entirety of the Barbie trailer
because it's gonna be so stupid. It's gonna be fun, dude. I don't know. It might not be stupid, but it just looks like. I think
tonally, it is striking. Like what I get from that trailer is like the perfect balance of what it needs to be, where it's like just subversive enough and smart enough that people who are going into it with their arms crossed, where it's just like, all right, this is gonna be dumb, are gonna be like, oh, okay. And people who love this shit and are like coming for the Barbie of it all are not going to be offended. They're going to be like into it because it's having fun with something that they love or take really seriously for some reason.
I'm gonna put this bold statement out there. Well, I guess not bold because it's personal, but I still think if we surveyed people, the best summer movie this summer that I've seen, Guardians 3.
Haven't seen it yet. Can't dispute it.
I think that's going to take... Give me something that you've seen that you're like, hey, that'd be my one or two.
For the summer or for the year?
For the summer.
I mean, I haven't seen anything, to be honest with you, man.
Give me your last good one. What did we see last together? Oh, we saw Fast 10. No. Like, listen, Momoa crushes Fast 10.
Yes. Technically, that was kind of supposed to be the first big summer release, and it was...
Without Momoa, that movie is going to fall flat.
Recently...
Dude, so I went...
Oh, I saw The Boogeyman, which was fine.
It was good?
It was fine.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you guys went and saw that.
It was an enjoyable time at the movies. I forgot it like the second it was over. It was one of those. And I was a little let down by the fact... I mean, spoilers, you see a bit of it in the trailer, but... The Boogeyman is kind of it's a CGI thing at the end of the day, which usually kind of bums me out in horror movies unless it's extremely well done.
You know what's going to be...
so that was a little bit of a letdown for me.
I do want to interrupt and tell you this because this might blow your mind because you and I have these like top movies of all time conversation.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me yesterday, we're sitting there, we're chatting, walking, talking, and I'm trying to figure out like... Because, I think the best movie, favorite movie of all time, it's so subjective to how you're feeling in the moment. Like,
for sure.
To say I have a definitive top three is ludicrous. But I gave a top three. You're going to hate my top three.
I love that this is what you want to go out on. So
I do want to go out on this because the third one...
Commentate on it. Let me say one thing before you say this. My only recent one that I will recommend because it's now available to rent on VOD, and it's fantastic, is the Blackberry.
Okay.
The Blackberry movie is very, very good.
Okay.
It's my second favorite of the year at this point. I wouldn't call it a summer movie, but that's my favorite recent thing I've seen. Okay, your top three.
I ended up. I'm saying this so people can have a nice laugh and be like, "Who the fuck do you have on your podcast?" So first two, be ready to be judged. I said The Sandlot, and I said Gladiator.
Okay.
Great movies. Are they my top three? I don't fucking know, dude. You get put on the spot.
And again, this person asked you your favorite or what you thought was the best.
Well, favorite.
I always think that that's a distinction. Yes.
Yeah, my favorite.
Okay.
And then I put a third one in here, which is probably the only one when I woke up this morning when I rethought about it that actually stuck. Where I'm like, that actually might be one of my top three movies. Avatar 2.
Okay.
Dude.
Okay.
Dude, I like,
all right.
We had a fucking blast when we went. We had a blast. The movie was great. I was fully anticipating to not be as juiced after that one as I was number one. And I was. And you know how sad spoiler alert, you know how sad I was after homie dies in the movie. His son dies, and it messed me up for a couple of days. I called Noah. I was like, dude, I'm still messed up. How do you provoke emotion like that from a CGI movie? I don't know, man, but that movie was awesome.
Newly on HBO Max and Disney Plus if you want to rewatch it, bud.
Yeah, and we almost went back
Cry
and
all
rewatched
over
it.
again.
We almost went back and rewatched it. And I don't go back and rewatch movies. I don't go back
do
to do it.
regret not going a second time to have the experience, but I also know when 3 is inevitably dropping, they will re-release 2, and I probably will go back again for that experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna fight you. That's
Oh, I know you don't like them.
What?
My top 3, and or maybe Avatar staying on the top 3.
Well, they're your favorites. That's all that matters.
You know, I appreciate you
it's
appreciating
a list that's
me.
true to you. That's cool that a movie that's that recent can make it up there for you. I think that's totally awesome. Okay, that's been Brendan's thoughts on 3 of the biggest trailers of the year. We're excited about all of them for very different reasons, and we'll let you know what we think when we finally get to them.
No, thanks for having me, man. This was fun.
Thanks for being on it, bud. Next time you will either be on our Fallout episode, or you and I will just do a Mission Impossible episode where you throw down all your thoughts.
I went back and rewatched them all for you.
Well, then we got to do something with that.
And then by for you, I mean, like, I watched one and I was like, man, screw it, I'm watching all of them.
Do this. Great. That's how it happens. All right. Thank you very much, sir, for the movie. It's not the movie art. The ARK of E podcast.
ARK of E podcast.
I've
thanks
been
everybody
Noah.
out there in TV land. Appreciate your time.
Yes.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time. Thank you.